No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you.
Yes, what's good, everybody? Quick shit vid, super quick shit vid. Just dropping in, bit of shit talk. I just firstly want to say as well, like, everybody that checked my podcast out yesterday, you're all absolute legends. Not that there's no hierarchy of legend, but I proper appreciate it, so I appreciate that. I've had a mention on the beard, which this isn't a beard, it's growth. So, you know, I sense the sarcasm, I feel it, received it, I'm sending it straight back. I've got a new music video out, which will be out at 6:30, the same time as this, so the link will be below. So if you want to check it out, I'd be much appreciated. Leave us a comment, let me know that you've been here. So yes, to the quick shit vid. Piss funny, really. I've just been on, obviously, doing a little bit of research on that. And on one of the sites, there was 11 players that this new guy, Marsh, has got on his radar, which is crazy, isn't it? Like, you know, at least spread the 11 players out across the 11 days so that it's like, oh, right. It's just madness talks. I think it's more just like not even speculation, more just like, you know, what people are looking at type of thing. But one of the ones that were on there were Iheanacho, who plays up front for Leicester. I actually really like him. I think that'd be pretty mint. He's a nice, God-loving dude, apparently. So, but I always liked him at Man City as well, the God-loving dude. So, apparently. So, would you be up for that? I think that'd be pretty cool. He doesn't really work too hard, to be fair, but he's good on ball, and he's definitely got an eye for goal, hasn't he? Yeah, I'd be up for that. Rodrigo's spoken out about Bielsa. He's not really, well, I say that, he didn't really say out, to be fair. He just said it's part of our job, like, to move on, and, you know, it's part of the ups and downs, and people have got to go and stuff like that. He didn't really say out, it was pretty PG, pretty bit gay, really, but he said that he'd been playing through an injury as well, like an ankle injury that he'd been playing through and he'd been struggling with. So, and then he mentioned that this new guy Marsh gave him Monday off after Wolves game, so they were buzzing, you know, like for it because they got a day off, an extra day off. Because they do need time off, bless them. Nah, I'm being jovial. Well, I'm not. I'm just, you know, don't matter. So, and then this is not going to go down well. But Orta, good old Victor, so the comments are going to blow up and I'm going to get loads of shit now, even though I'm not Victor Orta. Orta said that they might not go out and spend a lot in summer. Basically, he's alluded to it. So he just said if you believe in the youth system, you have to actually prove it. Which, to be fair, you know, I agree with that, you know. If you are going to go with this youth system, it actually has to work, doesn't it? And we've signed all these youth players, and that doesn't necessarily mean I think they're ready now, but you have to have them in a position. My issue with the youth players is they're either ready when they're young, or they're not. There's very few youngsters, I know that sounds ludicrous, but once they get to sort of 21, 22, if they're not breaking into the side, like Struick, for instance, or Meslier, Silent S, they're young men, aren't they? You know, and they're in the side and they're established, and then you don't see them as youth players, but they are still youth players. And like Geldite, you could make a case for. But, you know, there's a lot of players like in and around the side where you just think, I don't know all because you don't see enough of them. Like Somerville, every time I've seen him looks good. Cresswell looks good. Greenwood looks good, but you don't really know. So it's tricky, isn't it? To rock around and so yeah. But he did say that we'll be looking to like sign 2 established senior players, which I honestly think, you know, because that's still not going to be cheap. We're still talking, you know, if they're 25 million each, still 50 million, isn't it? So, but I actually think that's the right way to go. If you have got like a youth system coming that's actually going to come through, if they do believe that these players are good enough to come through, and then you get 2 players that will walk into the side, the problem with that is, and this is obvious, but you have to get that right, don't you? Because if you sign 2 players and they're pony, then, you know, shit, it's fan, doesn't it, really? So, yeah, I mean, and really going out and signing 4 or 5 players, is that any good? I don't know if that is any good, really. So, we have to stay loose, don't we? Keep the blood flowing below the belt. it's got me thinking about players to offload as well, really. So but my issue with it, like revenue wise, not that I do the books or would want to do the books or give a shit about the books, as long as we're not going full blown Ridsdale about it. Costa's probably on quite a bit of money, so you'd offload him. He's at Valencia. He's not done right well at Valencia, which would be music to a lot of people's ears. But it's quite hard to get rid of players, isn't it? So I sort of went through side, and it's like, if they're paid well, so if they're high earners, it's because they have value to the club and we still need them. It's not like Man City where they'll have some high earners, like that Torres gadge that went to Barcelona or wherever he's gone. He'd be a really high earner and he'd bring an immense amount of value to our side. But in a Man City side, not necessarily, because obviously they are an elite club. So they have elite players that would be high earners that just think, oh, we can afford to lose him. If Torres were in our side, we'd never be able to afford to lose him, although we'd get good money for him. It's like the Rafinha scenario, isn't it? Where you get rid of him, he would be a high earner and you'd get big money for him, but we still need him. And then if you go below that, when you start getting into like, well, I don't want to name any of the lower players, but they're not even lower players. That 30-year-old players in our side now, Dallas is at World and Ayling and Forshaw and stuff. They'll be relatively decent earners, I'm sure, but we need them. They'll have a little bit of value, but does anybody actually want them? And then when you go below that to players that I'm not going to mention, that'll be pretty low earners or decent earners, but nobody wants them, so they've got literally no value. So you're just offloading them, and you're not actually getting any money in. It's tricky. Do you see what I'm getting at? I don't know if I've explained myself very well there, but yeah. So let us know what you think. Drop us a comment. If you could check my music video out, I'd be much appreciated. Drop us a comment. The link will be below. It's just like a minute 40 of your life to check out. It's just a quick freestyle thing. I'm going to sort this out tonight. And I might drop back in tomorrow. Let y'all know what's poppin'.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is. Don't wanna ever feel surprised. That's why I ask.